Blog Talk Radio.
Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's the new experience. Reality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one now. Spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Spirituality. Oh, now we getting real. Getting real. Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get down. Yeah, you're gonna feel good now. Real good. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Time to get real.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Reality Spirituality. I'm your host, Rebecca Lynn Norrington, and this Thanksgiving weekend, let me just say thank you so much. I'm thankful and I'm grateful for all of my audience. I'm so grateful that you're getting the word out. You are sharing with your friends and family, coworkers about Reality Spirituality. This show started out something entirely different, and it has evolved into whatever it is right now. And today, it's just going to be me and my audience. I'm opening the call lines up for anyone to call in and ask Rebecca anything. Rebecca, yes? Ask me a question about anything that's going on in your life. The call-in number is area code 646-564-9619. Again, area code 646-564-9619. And as we're coming to the end of a year, and quite frankly, the end of tomorrow's my birthday, so an end of the year for me, as I, get a little 1 year older, it's really interesting to reflect and to think about who I was, what I was 6 months ago, a year ago, 3 years ago. And we're all on this journey to discover, to seek, to find answers, to really find the truth. And when I say the truth, I want to really be clear that my journey is unique to me, and your journey, my dear audience, is unique and special to you. So when I talk about or share with you things that I've experienced, if you can relate, yes, and if you're not feeling it, or it doesn't really, if the shoe doesn't fit, that's okay too. It's really what I've discovered in this long, long, long journey, sometimes it feels like forever, is that the most important for me is to develop a sense and to be an energy of acceptance, meaning that acceptance of myself, acceptance of my circumstances, where I am in this moment, acceptance of all of it, everything that happens, everything that doesn't happen, accept it all, embrace it all, and know that everything is in perfect order. This show, Reality Spirituality, is going to evolve again in 2015, and just like me, just like you, we're all changing and we're all growing and we're all expanding, as Abraham says, expanding. And with that expansion comes change. And change is not only necessary, but change is inevitable. Change is inevitable. And when I was younger, I used to think, get married and live happily ever after. What the hell? Happily ever after? Happily ever after exists with that number one person, that special someone that you can't live without, and that is that person in the mirror. happily ever after is living with and accepting and embracing that person in the mirror. That is huge, and especially if you want to feel this energy and you want to be happy. And I use the term happy and contentment. They're the same. This inner contentment, this inner peace, it's the same. It's the same concept. So when you really, for me, when I prioritized happiness, when I prioritized wanting this contentment, when I finally got it, that my goal was not to write a New York Times best-selling book or have a certain amount of money in the bank or have Mr. Man next to me morning, noon, and night. Oh, my God, how boring would that be? Excuse me, I hope I didn't say that out loud. Or whatever, fill in the blank. My goals have switched. Every single goal that I have, every intention that I have is just to bring me closer to feeling more contentment, closer to being more peaceful, more at ease, more trusting, more able to surrender, more all of that. Those are my goals. Those are my priorities. And everything else will work itself out. I'm going to get to the people. I have a few people in the queue. Give me about 2 or 3 minutes, okay, people in the queue, because I'm going to get to everybody's question today. But I really want to share that last week on the show, one of my really good friends, Robert Sharp. I've actually never met him, but we're good friends, virtual friends, and I can feel him. You can feel people. You can feel their energy. And he said something really interesting last week, and he was talking about triggers, and he was talking about people having triggers and him being human having triggers. And, I had to say, okay, left hand up in the air, or maybe right hand up in the air. Yes. There are things, there are people, there are circumstances that trigger reactions in me that conflict, if you will, that really conflict with my priority of wanting to be happy. And now that I'm thinking about it, these triggers are things that are just new. They didn't happen. I'm not having new triggers. These triggers have been with me for years, years and years and years. And some of them, let me just be real and admit, some of them used to be, oh my God, people that were cheap, people that are really thrifty with money, people that don't like to, people that are not generous, people that pinch every penny, people that, you know what I'm saying. I don't think I need to explain it. And that really bothered me. People like that really bothered me. And let me say this. It bothered me so much. I got in a relationship with this guy who was cheap. Well, let me start at the beginning. Okay, forget it. Who was cheap, and I spent years trying to change him, trying to say, money isn't the most important thing, and it was always about material things. Your car was important, your stereo system was important, your bank account was important, and honestly, audience, I spent so much of my time trying to convince this guy that money wasn't going to bring you happiness. Well, let me tell you what I've learned. I learned for me, money doesn't bring me happiness. I've had it, and I have not had it, but that doesn't determine how happy I am. But I used the word earlier, acceptance. And what was the real problem was I was not accepting this person, or I wasn't accepting the way he thought. I wasn't accepting anything about him. It was a constant conflict. So, of course, his actions, it triggered. I was bothered. I was irritated. I was annoyed. I tried to convince him to change. I mean, have you ever tried to convince somebody else to be different, to change? And I'm being honest, and I'm telling you right now, what I really wanted him to be was just like me. I wanted him to think the way I thought. I wanted him to have the same viewpoint. I couldn't understand why a car was more important. Like you have to park it in a certain spot, and you can't walk at a certain place before you got in the car, and you couldn't open it with your hands. You had to open it with your two fingers, and all of this stuff because those things were important to him. And I'm saying all this to say that I learned that it was never about the other person. All of my triggers, everything that bothers me, everything that annoys me, circles all the way back to me. Ouch! Circles all the way back to me. Every single thing that I am uncomfortable about, guess what? I believe I can change it. If I have the power, and believe me, the things that used to bother me 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, I could care less. So I know for a fact, I don't know how long it's going to take, but I definitely know for a fact that I am going to be able, when I really make that my intention and my goal and my priority. Because quite frankly, listen, if I don't have any triggers, if nothing is going to, and when I say triggers, I'm talking about past things that used to bother me, that were like, okay, that's a given. Somebody asking me a question, a stupid question, that's a given. I'm going to be annoyed. But I can change that. I can change it, and that's going to be my goal and my agenda and my resolution for the new year, is to work on all of my triggers and have the intention and ask for help. Universe, I can't do this by myself. Ask for help to eliminate. That's right, I said eliminate. Is it possible to eliminate all triggers? For me, I'm going to say yes, because that is what I want. That is what I desire. That is what will it ever happen? I don't know, but I do know that's going to be my goal for 2015. Can you imagine? I'm going to get to my callers. You know, I love my live callers, my audience. But I want to just make a couple of announcements. This is really quick. My book, Reality Spirituality, The Truth About Happiness, is out on Amazon, Kindle. You can order that. If you want a copy, I will sign it. You can order it from my website at RebeccaNorrington.com. I will autograph it and personalize it and send it free shipping in the United States. And beginning January, listen to this, beginning January, I believe the date is the 8th. It's a Thursday, the first Thursday. I don't know if it's the first Thursday, but anyway, it's the I should have had that date. Anyway, it's the 8th of January, 2015. I am going to be teaching a brand new class at the City of Arcadia. This is going to be a class that has never been offered before. Actually, two classes, but the first class is going to be the importance of happiness. The importance of happiness. And I'm really excited because this class has never been offered. It's never been taught in a city that I know of. And we're just, here we go, audience. The importance of happiness. I'm spreading it all over the globe because without the ability, without that foundation of happiness, what else matters? Really, what else matters? Let me go to my callers. Area code 229. You are live on Reality Spirituality. What is your first name?
Melvin.
Hi, Melvin. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am.
What's going on, Melvin?
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to ask a question about my finances. I have a lot of things going on with me, but right now I need to be able to just ask you about any finances coming my way within the week.
Okay, so what you're saying is you're asking me to see if I can feel any kind of money coming to you in a week.
Yeah, this upcoming week, yes, ma'am.
This upcoming week. And can you just bear with me for a second or two, please? You said your name was Melvin, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Can you bear with me for a minute?
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
I'm going to ask you a question. I don't know you or your life, but my question to you is, and just bear with me here because I'm going to get to your question. Has your life unfolded in exactly the way that you would have liked it to?
No, it hasn't.
Okay.
In some areas, but not the way that's a great question, and not the way that I anticipated it to be.
Okay, and let me say something, Melvin, because my hand is up, and I am exactly the same. Exactly the same. My life has not unfolded. I mean, if I was designing my life, it would be totally different than what has happened, okay? So we're on the same page with that, right? Kind of follow me with this, okay? I have a purpose. Trust me, okay? So knowing that your life hasn't unfolded exactly the way you would have wanted it to, and I admitted that my life hasn't unfolded exactly. I mean, things have happened that I would not have signed off on. But what I do know, Melvin, what I do know is everything that has happened in my life, everything, and I mean the things that I was uncomfortable with or didn't want to happen, I know that they happened for my betterment. I know that they happened for a great reason. They happened to allow me to grow. In other words, they were growing opportunities. Can you say the same?
Yes, ma'am. I can say that. I know that it happened. Everything happens for a reason, and I do know you'll be able to learn from things and even the people you be around is for a reason.
That's right.
Where you can grow. And
that's right.
Adjust a situation that you may run into again, then you'll be able to handle it better than you did the first time.
I love this call. First of all, thank you for being open and thank you for being honest and thank you for just thank you for contributing. Okay, so now we got that. So I'm going to tell you this, and, a lot of people might agree with me or not, and it's okay, but I don't have control over what happens to me. I don't have control over what happens to me, and I don't have any control over what doesn't happen to me. But what I do have control over, my dear Melvin, is my perspective. How do I want to perceive what is happening? How do I want to think about what's happening? I have control over my words, my behavior, my perspective. Do I perceive that this is something that is just horrible and I wish it wasn't happening and, why me? Or do I look at it as wow, okay, this is uncomfortable. I might not, signed up for it, but I know that it's happening for my betterment. And changing a perspective, you can change it in a snap of a finger. Changing a perspective is everything in this life. it's all about your perspective. Do you perceive if something's going right, or do you perceive something is wrong? What do you think about them apples, Melvin?
Yes, I do believe that, because basically it's what you put out is what you're going to get back.
That's right. That's right. So if you perceive, even, let me just share, I know everybody's heard this story a million times. I'm sorry, my audience, but I was disinherited in 2007. Now, let me tell you something, Melvin. When that happened, I was not a happy camper. And it was 5 years, and I didn't see my mother for 5 years because those were her wishes, and it's still a big issue, and it's still a big problem. When I say problem, meaning, let me scratch that, not a big problem. It's still happening is what I'm saying. And it was a big problem to me, a big problem. But the universe wanted me to experience that so I could shift the relationship that I have with her. And to this day, I talk to her every day, sometimes 2 times a day, and I'm still disinherited. And I still tell her I love her, and I would do anything for her. But see, it's like looking beyond what's happening. In other words, looking beyond what I see, looking beyond what I feel, and knowing that there's something good going to come out of this.
Oh, yes, I can adjust to that, because the fact that, with my kids, I was married, and I ended up getting a divorce, and I ended up getting permanent custody of 3 of my sons. And I have 5 kids, but all of them are grown now. And the relationship with my kids and I was great, but now they have distanced themselves. The phone calls has been limited. The visitation has been limited. And it's no connection, very little. Even Thanksgiving, nobody didn't give me a call. I cooked the big dinner, but I ended up going to spend time with my sisters and brothers. That's okay. I mean, I have learned not to run behind someone with a problem.
Okay, now you're opening up another can of worms, which is this is even a greater story. This is even first of all, I thought your call was great in the first place. Now now you got icing on the cake. Because let me say this. It's interesting because you say no one called, and let me just say, if you were ever inspired to call your children and say, you know what, or your boys, and hey, whatever their names are, Mac, Joe, and John, hey, fellas, I just want to say hi. I want to connect. I love you. Have a great Thanksgiving. See you later. Can you do that?
Oh, yes. I mean, yes, I have. Yes, definitely. I mean, we friends on Facebook, and if I'm online, they're online, and sometimes, and yes, I can do that. But this is something that has not, just started. This has been going on for years, for a decade, over 10 years. So, but I have been reaching out. Even last year, they did decide to come over and eat Thanksgiving with me last year. But it's like when I am reaching out and want to be involved, definitely, I think mostly what's bothered me is my grandkids, because it's 2 of my grandkids I have not seen at all, and the 2 little girls are 2 and 1 years old. And so it's I don't know why their heart is so heavy towards me, because I raised them. And I'm not a deadbeat father. I do anything in the world I can for them. But I had to decide that it was hurting me so bad, but they was walking around smiling about it, and I had to let go of that. And I told them, I said, look, I'm not going to be hurt anymore. So you guys know where I'm at. You know my phone number. You know I love you. So I got to move on with my life because it was stressing me out. So I had to back off. for I can feel better. Because every time I pick up the phone, it was always, no, I'm busy, or we already made plans, or this and that, and it goes on and on and on. So it comes to reality. I mean, it's like my ex-wife has, programmed their brain when they was little up until now. And they taken all of that information and not really wanting to sit down and talk to me about it and open up where we can get this problem resolved. Because, June of this year, one of my sons got shot, and he was shot, and the doctors told us, he was not going to live, but he is. He's still living. And he's in a nursing home, and I'm trying to raise funds where he can get physical therapy. I have a Facebook page and fundraise on GoFundMe.com, so I can get this guy in Atlanta, Georgia, my son in Atlanta, Georgia, where he can have, at Shepherd's Hospital, where he can begin his physical therapy, because he's moving his arms a little bit, bending his knees a little bit, but he needs some intense therapy on the clock, around the clock. But because the place he's at now is just, he doesn't even come out of his room. They come in there and turn him left or right or set him up a little bit, and he needs more than that. And it's going to cost, it's going to take money to do that because of his insurance.
Well, so Melvin, is that what you're needing the money for?
That, yes, ma'am. But my bank, when I checked my bank account, it was like my withdrawal was my check was not. It was there, but they didn't give me all of my check, and I came short for my rent. Okay. Well, let me say this, because you have a lot of stuff on your plate. And
yes,
but
let me just share something with you that I got. Let me just share something with you. You are, first of all, you're very special and you're very open. And I want you to, when I say I want you to, just know that everything, and this is going to be really hard to grasp or understand, or even when your children are talking to you or they're not talking to you, everything is still in order. And I would like you to it's going to be hard to hear, but not take their actions so personally. Because when anybody is angry, or when anybody is not speaking, or anybody is like snubbing someone else, or whatever it is, in other words, when they're not offering loving behavior, when they're not offering open arms and loving behavior, that just means that they're hurting. But it's not, you are not the blame for them hurting. You are not the blame for their behavior. I really want you to really feel that and understand that, because you're taking it like they think you did something and that's the reason why they're acting this way. And you said you get everything out on the table. And trust me, I am a happiness specialist, and I know that when people are acting mean or bitter or resentful, or what you name, whatever label you want to put in, it's really not you. It's them and what's going on inside of them. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, definitely. And I have started to, just say this doesn't belong to me. I mean,
yes.
It doesn't belong. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. That's right.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah. So I just want to remind you of that, and then I also want to remind you of something else. This is going to really sound crazy, but that's another thing that I had to learn. Believe it or not, I'm getting chills now. Believe it or not, whatever is happening, whether it's your son being in the condition he's in, or your relationship or finances or health, whatever it is. This is going to sound crazy, Melvin, but it's not that serious. In other words, when I take things so seriously, I am never going to feel light. I'm not saying that, to ignore or not do whatever you can do or not be inspired, but there is a different feeling when your energy is, oh my God, this is serious, as opposed to, I know everything is in order. I might not be too comfortable with it, but I'm going to get through all of this just like I always have. I'm going to start trusting. I'm going to trust more, and I'm going to let go and surrender more. When you trust more and you surrender, this seriousness energy kind of, it doesn't have anything to hold on to. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And I just started to process that in my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And I just started to do that. Like, well, it's not serious, but I'm the type of guy that I worry too much.
Okay.
To make it serious. And it's not serious. So, but I have started to not to worry, because I used to worry way more than I used to worry now. I do now. So I'm in transition where I'm not worried anymore.
That's right.
Concerned, just a little concerned, but not as bad. 24-hour worry, about this, that. So now I just say it doesn't belong to me, and it will be worked out.
Okay. So see, when you were talking, I don't know, but when I hear, I don't know if you've listened to the show before, but when I hear the truth, I just get chills all over my body, and I've just been chilling up. I'm freezing over here, Melvin. I'm freezing over here because of what you just said. What you just said, and it's so important. And let me just throw this out too, and then I'm going to get to my next caller. But I want to throw this out. We were not born with the ability to worry. We were not born with the ability to look at something as negative. We weren't born with the ability to be offended. We learned how to worry. We learned how to be offended. We learned how to get our feelings hurt. We learned all of this behavior. So what it sounds like to me is you're just unlearning what you learned. And worrying, oh my goodness, what a waste of time and energy. And let me tell you something. When you worry, whatever you're doing in your present moment, whether it's worrying or whatever it is, you're actually creating the same thing for your future moment. But you said something so important. You said, I don't worry as much as I used to. And that's what growth is about. Growth doesn't happen snap, snap, snap overnight. But if you notice and you can say that you are not the same person you were last week, 6 months ago, a year ago, guess what? You are on the right path. There's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to be concerned about. Trust and know that everything is in order. The universe has your back, Melvin. The universe has your back. Some people say universe, some people say God, some people say source energy, whatever you want to call it. God has your back.
Oh, yeah. I definitely believe that.
So you really don't, you could care less about whether you're going to get money this week or not, right?
Oh, sure.
I mean, come on now.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to be taken care of, and I'll be able to pay my rent probably tomorrow.
That's right. On my birthday. On my birthday.
Happy birthday, and I wish you more than more.
Thank you. And so you see, So you see, you talked about some things that were, quite frankly, more. They were deeper than anything about, am I going to get money in the bank? I mean, you talked about some deep stuff. You shared some deep, wonderful stories with my audience, and it's a lot. I don't know. I appreciate that more than am I going to get money in the bank, right? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, yes, ma'am. I had to, it's good to open up and don't feel, your ego. The ego will eat you alive. So listen, the ego's there. The ego has one purpose and one purpose only, is to make me feel bad for as long as possible. Exactly.
However, this is something else I learned. About the ego, because it's not about making the ego the enemy, because the ego isn't even an enemy. The ego is not an enemy, but the ego is just like having a 5-year-old child. And so listen, I need the ego, because the ego is going to make sure that I take a shower and make sure that I don't wear plaids with paisleys and make sure my, little makeup on, the hair's, nice. Yeah, the ego has a little job, but I'm not putting a 5-year-old child behind the wheel of a car. So you know the ego's job, and let the ego do. And whenever the ego tries to step out and do something other than their job, that's when it's up to us to say, nope, sorry, you're not qualified to make me feel good or bad, ego. Sorry, get back in your little playpen. That's how I do it.
True. Yeah, and that's true. That's how I do it, because I don't let my ego control me.
Listen, Melvin, you call me anytime. I love that you share it, and I love that you were honest, and you actually helped my audience too with all of your issues. It was just like a whole global, and we're all the same. We all have the same kind of things. We all have the same challenges. Come on now.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we do. It's just. Yeah, and it's just how you adjust and how you let it go.
That's right. Call me anytime.
Okay, thank you very much. You is so magnetic, and I love it. And I thank you. That's great. That's great.
Wow. Thank you. I like being a magnet. Oh, yes. Thank you. Yes, a couple of, thank you, darling. Thank you. And we're going to go to my next caller, area code 516. You are live on Reality Spirituality. What is your first name?
Sandra.
Hi, Sandra. Welcome to Reality Spirituality. Have you called before?
No, my first time.
Hi, Sandra. What's going on with you?
Oh, God. So I guess...
Deep breath. Listen to that sigh. Listen to that beautiful sigh that you have.
Yeah, that's a good one, huh?
Yeah, hit me, honey. Hit me.
I think my ego's been running away with me for a little while. I've been having... I think I've been having trouble finding my happiness again.
Okay. Meaning? Give me a little bit more.
I think it stems from gaining some weight, and the confidence is not where it used to be. And I think that's been kind of rocking me lately.
What? What was the last one?
I said I think that's been kind of rocking me lately.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. So are you telling me that there was a time in your life that you were really, really, really confident all the time?
Well, maybe not all the time, but I was certainly much more confident than I am now.
Okay.
And I just felt better, just in general. I mean, I know I'm not the heaviest person in the world. I'm not morbidly obese, but I do have some weight on me, and it's been kind of stopping me from doing a lot of things. On top of the fact
that like
what?
Like what? What does it stop you from doing?
Everything.
You're so You said first of all, you said it's kind of stopped me from doing some things, and then I said,
it's stopping me from
oh my God, I love
having
you.
a social life, basically going out, finding a job, you name it.
Okay. This is going to be really, it's going to be, I don't know how it's going to be to hear this, but let me just say this. Put your seatbelt on, honey, okay? You got it?
Yeah, I think I got it.
Yeah. Put your seatbelt on, because being happy or being confident has nothing to do with your weight. Absolutely nothing.
Essentially, I know that. Like, I've seen, I see people who, are living fulfilled lives, and they're heavier, and, and I take nothing away from them if they're comfortable with themselves. But I'm just not comfortable with me like this.
Well, you're not comfortable yet. You're not comfortable in this moment, my dear. And this is just, I mean, I'm getting chills now. You're not comfortable in this moment. But what the universe gives us is the next moment and the next moment. You're so, I mean, I'm just chilling up right now only because I'm just feeling really connected with you. Again, thank you for being open, and thank you for sharing. And you're not comfortable in this moment. And there's a reason why that you called this show. Because you're going to hear some things that maybe you've never heard before. I'm just that kind of gal.
Hopefully.
And I want to say, there you go, little smile, that's right, let's lighten up. You heard the first caller, and you're doing, the big, it's so serious. Not making fun, I'm just saying it's serious. What you're going through is serious. You have that serious energy, and you're tacking on a lot of reasons why, and this weight thing. But let's even go deeper, because one of the things, being a happiness specialist, is that I know for me is that it's never anything external. And weight or a job or a social life is all external. All of it. And I love the tears, because the tears just mean that you're being touched. The universe is like, yeah. Come on, Sandra. Come on. You're right on the path. You're right on cue. You're at the right spot. You are at the perfect spot that you need to be right here in this moment. But it's not to lose weight, and it's not to be social. It's none of that stuff. It's really to let's look in the mirror and what's really going on. And let me just say something else before I ask you a couple questions.
Sure.
First of all, you're come on now. Do you I can feel you. And this is going to sound really corny and but you are special right in this moment. I mean, your soul, your internal I can feel you. You have a different energy than my first caller. I can feel you. I'm standing up right now. I can feel you so strong. And it's really hard, I'm telling you, it was really hard for me to believe years ago that I was special and I was important and I was this wonderful person from within. It was really difficult for me to believe it. And that's why I guess I can feel this so strongly with you. But I'm here to tell you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, but I'm here to tell you we're going to get there. We're going to get there together.
Yeah, I'd really like to get somewhere because it's been
and let me
2 years.
Well, let me say this. Hold on a second.
I know that this sounds serious, but if you've been around my energy, I'm usually such a happy, sunshiny type of person. So.
Yeah, but you've been happy and sunshiny, like you're acting.
No, it's just naturally who I am. So.
Well, see, there you go.
This doesn't feel natural to me.
Okay, so what doesn't feel natural? What doesn't feel natural to you then?
I guess feeling so miserable at times. I'm always optimistic.
Labels.
I'm just an optimistic person. That's who I have always been, whenever any challenge has come my way. So.
Okay.
This one has been particularly difficult.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let me share some things with you. Because I'm getting a bigger sense. Let me share some things. One of the things that and when I said this happy and one of the things that I had to accept about myself is that I'm not going to feel this, skipping through the tulips all the time.
No one does.
What?
I said no one would, life has regular ups and downs, and I'm just saying that I've never met a challenge, I guess, with such difficulties. Usually I'm someone who bounces back or always falls on their feet like a cat. You know what I mean? I'm not somebody who usually has such issues kind of coming back around and, making lemonade out of lemons. It's just been, I don't know, it's been really tough.
So you're saying that you feel stuck, like you're not able to?
Yes, very much so. Very much so.
And so let me say this, that there is a reason why you're feeling this stuckness, because hold on a second, I think I have to. No, I thought I had to sneeze. The way that you're looking at it like, okay, usually I can ... Usually I bounce back. Usually I land on my feet. And for whatever reason, I'm stuck and I'm not able to move through this, and I'm not able to move forward, or I'm not able to do what I would like to do. And I'm stuck, and I want to say, and I'm just, if it feels right, that it's something different that the universe wants you to get. See, I used to think that it's now something, but what if it's something else than what you're thinking? In other words,
I don't know. I mean, it could be. I've been trying to be open and trying to, see the value of whatever this lesson is.
What if, and I used the word earlier, it's about acceptance. Let me just share a really, really quick story. I don't know about you, but when I was younger, if I wasn't doing something, if I wasn't engaged or accomplishing something, if I wasn't productive, I was lazy, I was, I would feel bad if I didn't have things to do during the day. I mean, or in other words, or accomplish. I would actually feel bad about myself because, I mean, I came from a family. You had to do something. You couldn't just do nothing. And so what the universe really wanted me to get was not, was they really wanted me to start feeling good. This is crazy. They wanted me to start feeling good about myself when I did absolutely nothing. Feel good when I'm not doing anything, when I'm sitting on my ass and I'm not doing anything, not reading, not writing, not researching, just sitting down, doing nothing, watching TV. What a waste of time. Oh my goodness, this waste of time thing was in my head. Oh, what a waste of time. And do you know, for a weekend, I remember like a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I'm sitting in these, I have these really nice chairs. I'm sitting in a chair, and I would feel horrible. I didn't get anything done today. I have this to do, and I didn't get it done, and I would feel bad about myself. And do you know, Sandra, how long it took me to feel good about doing nothing?
I don't know. I have a friend who's like that. I'm not like that, so.
2 years, honey.
I believe it. And I know that this is, I know that you're trying to relate that to me. And obviously I'm going through something.
Right.
Obviously I was taken off the path for a reason.
No, you're not off the path. You're never off the path. You're perceiving, you're thinking that you know your path. You're thinking that you know you. You're never off the path.
I'm on a new path, let's put it that way.
Yeah, you're on a different path. But you're resisting this path. You're thinking there's something wrong with this path. You're thinking there's something wrong with where you are right now. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm here to tell you there's nothing wrong with where you are right now. It might feel like it, but it's like looking with different eyes. Just because it looks a certain way or just because it feels a certain way doesn't mean that it's wrong. You're supposed to be right here. And for whatever reason, this is really hard. You're supposed to be okay being right here. That sucks, doesn't it? That sucks.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Who wants to be okay with because it's all these thoughts in your head about what's wrong with you and what's wrong with the situation and I used to be and I usually am and all of that. And the universe is trying to say, no, this is a perfect plan. They're real jerks sometimes. I'm just saying they're really jerks. They put us through so much. They're putting you through something, and they want you to think that there's something right with where you are. I know that's crazy. You're not feeling that? Are you feeling that at all? I have one eye open.
Am I have one eye open. I'm winking. To this being right for me?
Well, where you are right now in your life is right.
Well, ultimately, I mean, if I'm here, I'm here, So I don't feel like it's wrong, but I'm not comfortable with it.
What you're experiencing.
That's the difference.
Yeah, but what you're Yeah, you're here, but what you're experiencing is right also. What you're experiencing is, okay, this is really crazy. What you're experiencing right now is good.
Well,
You're
I guess
perceiving it as
doesn't
something.
feel good.
Well,
you know, that's it. It just doesn't feel good. It feels like it absolutely sucks.
Okay.
And I don't feel happy about it. And I
Yes.
haven't felt happy in 2 years. So if that's what the universe wanted for me, well, then mission accomplished.
Wait a minute, honey. Wait a minute. Because maybe that's it. The more you resist, the more you resist. And listen, you know how horrible and how uncomfortable growth feels. It sucks. Growth feels very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. It's the worst. It's the worst. It's the worst feeling.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's necessary. Obviously, it's necessary. This is really out there. But I'm just feeling that for you to quote unquote feel better, there is something that you're going to have to do before you can get to that point. And it's really going to sound even nuttier than anything else I said. And the only reason I'm saying it is because been there, done that, continue to be there, it's really being thankful and grateful for where you are now. That's the only way to dig out of this. This only way to dig out of it. I promise. Been there.
All right. I think I'm going to go now.
Okay. All right, Sandra.
I appreciate all your time, and
okay.
I don't want to sound ungrateful because you did spend a lot of time with me, and obviously it's just, this is still the path. This is still where I am, and I guess it's just going to take me time to kind of get to the next, phase of my life. And that's, I guess, the most that I can say at this point. Okay.
And again, when you can say thank you for where you are right now, it's going to start shifting. I promise you.
Okay.
You. Ooh-wee, that was tough. Wasn't that tough? And I know where she's been. I know it. Yikes. Okay. Area code 415. You are live on Reality Spirituality. Hello, what's your first name?
Hi, this is Jessica. I've called before.
Hi, Jessica. Is this my Facebook, Jessica?
No, not Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Didn't you call in one time with a question about Facebook? No.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes.
See?
Sorry, I didn't understand. Yes.
I'm always right. No, I'm just kidding. What's going on, Jessica? Gee, that was a tough one before, wasn't it?
Yeah, I feel for that girl. I've been going through some crazy stuff, too. I think all of us have been, and just being pushed and moved left, right by the universe. So just breathing through it.
Yeah. So what's going on now? Tell me. I love your calls because you're always about real life. What's going on?
Well, I wanted to get your point of view on this thing, and I know you say that you don't look at other people's lives. I know that comment's coming from you, but I'm still going to ask my question, and you could answer it however you want.
Yay! Throw it at me, honey.
Okay, so I've been going through this thing lately about just realizing a lot of things about how I've been doing business and how I've been presenting myself in the world. And I have been seeing other people that they're in the business field, like coaches and stuff like that. I do something different with spirituality, but I've seen all of them kind of like rise with popularity, with money, and it's been uncomfortable to me because I'm like, well, there's obviously something about me that I haven't been doing right. And with this whole thing about like going with the universe, like just letting the universe take you the way you want, however they want to take you. What do you think about these like business coaches or these people that say, well, you know, you work with me and I'll get you to 6 figures or 7 figures, and it does seem to work for them. I mean, you see things expanding with them, and I can't help but feel like a little bit like envious, or I don't want to say jealous, but maybe a little bit, but I think it's more envious. It's like I want to live that life too, but I follow the philosophy like you, like let me be shown. But I don't know, sometimes I've been questioning, like, is that really the way? But if I force things, it wouldn't work out either. I've been there too. So what do they know that I'm not knowing or not doing? You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like I can't help but get confused about it.
Oh my God. Are we related? I mean, are we the same person? What? Oh my God, what a great, oh God, are you kidding me? You don't think I've been there? You don't think I've thought there? Have you heard about this woman? Maybe you've heard her. Maybe you've heard her name. I don't know. Oprah? How the hell does Oprah have a show and I don't have a show?
It just seems like people can put out effort and like really kind of hustle it, and it works for them. But it hasn't worked for me. And then it just gets kind of like a little bit angry and upset, and I don't want to go down that path, but I have been there the last couple of days, and I'm out of it. I'm getting out of it because I'm getting like realizations. But that question always kind of sticks in my mind of like, how have these people been able to do it?
Of course. And listen. I'm chilling up only because it's one of my triggers, if you will. Also, oh my God, are you kidding me? You don't think that I have been offered this kind of seminar and your business will double? Listen. I have been actually interviewed to double my business, don't you want to make more money? The whole thing, interviewed. And then when I was really honest about it, because I can feel people when I'm really honest about it, I'm like, no, this isn't a real fit. And then, of course, it wasn't a fit. But what I'm telling you is normal. Of course, I've been to the same thing. I look at people that, quote, unquote, have been, let's say, there's this thing called TED Talks. Have you heard of that, TED Talks?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I guess people that are on TED Talks are really just a lot more exposed, and they're real happening, get on TED Talks, blah, blah, blah. This comparing to other people, anytime I compare, I'm subtracting from my happiness. Now, I know that intellectually, but I totally get where you are. But for me, it's really a trusting that my journey is unique, and if I really had to, Jessica, if I was given the opportunity to switch with anybody else, I'm talking about switching. Like if I had the opportunity to be Oprah, I would never switch. I would never, ever switch what I am and what I'm going through at all. It's all ego. This comparing and this saying that these people have and why don't I and is all the voice of the ego, and the ego's job is to make me feel bad for as long as possible, as many times as possible during the day. So for me, it's recognizing what voice that is. It's a man-made thought. This comparison. If we were 2 years old, sitting in a crib, and one of the babies, and the baby next to you was wearing all designer baby wear and had a gold crib and was playing with diamond rattlers, and I'm sitting there with, hobo clothes, I could care less. So this comparing, we learned how to start comparing. I totally get it, being jealous, being envious, whatever word, I get it. But it all comes back to how much do I trust? And honestly, for me, it's a question that the universe says to me and asks me a lot. Rebecca, would you be okay with exactly the way your life is going, with this little wacky online radio show, online, not on terrestrial, online on a real radio show, Jessica, online. Are you happy with that?
Right.
Yeah, come on. Are you happy with that? Would you be happy with that for the rest of your life? Are you okay with that? Are you okay with your book selling 10 copies? Are you really okay with that, Rebecca?
Right. And I've been through that. My answer is no. I feel what comes up for me, and I know that this is, taking it really down the fearful lane, but it says well, what if my dreams don't come true? If I'm not putting out effort and if I'm just kind of chilling back, trusting the universe, well, what are you guys providing for me? I mean, and it's kind of like then we go around saying, oh, trust the universe, it all comes divine plan, blah, blah, blah. It's like, why I'm talking like such shit, I even get to talk about this, about you don't have to do Facebook, Twitter, whatever, just do what you feel guided to do. And I've been thinking about that lately. I'm like, what was that? Talk about. I mean, I'm nowhere near, again, it's the comparing again, but I'm nowhere even near where I want to be. So I don't know what the solution to that is. I mean, again, I've enrolled in courses like this. I've had coaches. It has not worked out. I've been disappointed, and so I don't get it. I mean, these other people talk about doing the hustle, so.
Well, there are two rules of thought, and you said you're not happy where you are. That's all your ego speaking, honey. It's all ego speaking. And I mean, if you listen, I know which voice is speaking, and I've had conversations with people that are just so, well, Rebecca, if you just do nothing, then you're going to get nothing. And you know what? I answered the question, am I okay with my little online radio show? And there 2 years ago, the answer was always no. And now the answer is yes. It just has to be yes. I have to give up. I have to give up and let the universe work its magic. I mean, that's the way I want to do this. And if I only have an online radio show and only people buy 10 books, but Jessica, 3 years ago I couldn't talk for 5 minutes. And now I just finished my book proposal. I don't know if you a book proposal, 75 pages. And honey, I had to write down all my foreign contacts. I have 10 foreign contacts that I didn't even know. I mean, it all is adding up. It's just adding up. And I didn't put any effort to get these people. I didn't put any effort to get people from Canada and people from Australia and people from London that I know that I can connect with now. I really didn't. It just fell in my lap. They fell in my lap. And the thing is that one of the things is this patience. Patience. Are you patient or are you impatient? I cannot be impatient anymore, because the more impatient I am, the more unhappy I am. I am a happiness specialist. Happiness is number one. All this other shit, this Facebook, this Twitter, how many people listening, people to me, is number two. That's just the way I'm doing it. That's just
I agree.
me.
I mean, I've come to that place too, but also, I mean, like I said, this last week was like, woof. I mean, I had realizations of like, and that even came up a little bit embarrassing on how I was presenting myself in the world. Like, I just didn't even realize I was, again, it had to do with Facebook again. Ugh, what a mess, that Facebook. But like,
why are you listening to your ego? Why are you letting your ego drive how you feel? That's exactly what you're doing. You're letting a 5-year-old, I say the ego is 5 years old, you're letting a 5-year-old control your feelings, allow you to feel bad, comparing, make you impatient. That's what really is going on here.
I don't think that it's an ego thing. I think...
Oh, yes, honey.
Well, with this one part, it's in my soul. I know that I'm destined to do certain things. And I'm in my 30s. I was going to say my mid-30s, but I'm actually, I think, in my late 30s. I don't really count my age anymore. But it was just this kind of thought of like, all these years I have been just getting by. My business has expanded as far as like what I offer, and like it's gone deeper. That's been great, but the money has not been there. And it's kind of like, well, what is the missing thing here? And there's also, I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with like the even though I haven't been counting my age anymore, I still know that I am getting older, and it just makes me really, I mean, I'm going to cry. It just makes me really sad of like, I still have these dreams. Like, why are you telling me since a young age I'm meant to do this, that, or the other? And like, it's still in the process of manifesting.
Okay.
Like, it's just, that's what it is.
Okay. This is what I'm getting. Okay. And you're saying you can feel your gifts. You can feel that you have something to share. You can feel all of that, right? You know you have.
Yeah.
You know you're here for a reason. You know you're here to share your gifts. Same with me. Same thing. But this is where you're getting tripped up. Okay. You're getting tripped up because you're looking at numbers. You're getting tripped up because you're putting a value on money. You're putting a value on how many. That is huge. And what if you're here? I remember thinking, if I changed one person's life, if I've affected one person, is that enough? And you would say, you said it earlier, no. And I'm telling you the answer has to be yes. This ego, I'm telling you, talks about numbers. The universe, God, never says, well, you know what, you're here to influence 5 million people, and that's not the universe talking. That's a man-made thought. That's the ego. And I don't know if I shared this really quick story. When I first started this radio show 3 years ago, honey, 3 people were listening, and they're all my family, and they didn't listen all the time. So they didn't listen all the time, and I kept complaining. Nobody's listening. 3 people, 1 person, 2 people. What is that? And the universe basically told me, we're listening. Isn't that enough?
Right, I heard you share that story. I like that story because I've been through that as well. And I guess I continue. But there's the 2 things. I mean, as far as like...
You're getting tripped up on numbers. You're looking at the bank account and being dissatisfied. You have this energy of dissatisfaction. This energy of dissatisfaction. And let me tell you something. If you're dissatisfied in this moment, I don't care how many clients, how much money, you're still going to be dissatisfied in the next moment. It's this energy of dissatisfaction which is the real issue.
I mean, I haven't really been able to support myself fully financially. So I'm not asking right off the bat to be living like in a huge mansion, although that is part of the plan.
You even laughed. It's part of your plan.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm just sharing.
Like,
listen, I have a full-time job. I mean, I have a full-time 9-to-5 job, honey. 9 to 5.
Well, I'm going back into that, but it's just that also I'm going back into that. That's what I'm doing. I'm bringing my gifts there, and I'll build this on the side. But I also just sometimes think that when people say, well, numbers don't matter, I think also that sometimes that's like the ego way of saying, I'm good enough or whatever. Yeah, it's like, that's what people who have no following say.
Yeah. Well, let me say something.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with this, and my own son says that to me. Mom, you have to do something. You can't just sit down and just wait for things to fall in your lap. Well, this is the way I want to live. I don't want to be out there hustling. I just don't. And if I land in the rest of my life, I'm doing whatever I'm doing. I'm retiring on my little salary. Who cares? I'm happy.
Right.
I'm not going to be out there dissatisfied because of numbers. I'm just not. And listen, Jesus had a following of 200-mile radius? 200-mile radius. 200 miles. That was it.
Right. It's the fear of unfulfilled dreams. That's what the fear is. But you have to trust that, okay, if Spirit is the one giving you these dreams, they're in your heart, that they have to come true in some kind of form. But see, the thing is, listen, you're already fulfilling your dreams. You just have a thing about numbers. You're already offering a service. You're already touching lives. I know you. You've already changed lives. You've already touched people. Now it's just you want more. Again, energy of dissatisfaction. It's not enough. And that's all ego. The ego is never satisfied. Have you noticed that? The ego is never satisfied. Yeah.
I mean,
there's a good story about Eckhart Tolle that he was homeless and he was like sitting on a bench. A lot of times we don't hear people sharing the in-between story.
Right.
But I think about like he was
and he was an
bench.
alcoholic.
Right, so God somehow rerouted his life. I mean, but we don't hear if he was hustling or what happened. Like, I would like to know that in-between time, what happened. I like the details. Like, what are the details?
Okay, well, when he comes on my show, I'll ask him.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to know the details.
But a lot of people aren't willing to share a lot of stuff. I mean, I've had a lot of people on the show, and they sometimes they don't want to share personal things. I'm just the opposite.
Yeah. Me too.
But see, honey, honestly, I'm telling you right now, I get what you're saying about comparing, but this comparing, I have to just switch it and shift it, because when I compare and look at numbers and I only have 38,000 Twitter followers. Why don't I have 1 million? But am I going to allow that to shift my energy and give me it's really the energy of dissatisfaction. I don't want that. I want to be satisfied with everything. All of it.
Which I'm thinking that's an addiction. I'm just like realizing, I'm like looking at my addictions lately. That's an addiction, to be dissatisfied.
Let me tell you something. I had an addiction to feel bad about myself. An addiction to feel bad about myself. How you like them apples?
Yeah.
An addiction.
I have an addiction to always think I'm doing something wrong. That's one of my addictions.
There you
Everybody
go.
else is doing it right. I must be doing it wrong. I'm not getting the results. I must be doing it wrong.
And see, you learned how to compare. You know, anytime people call and they talk about other people, you learned how to compare, and all it is the universe wants you not to compare. You can't compare the stars in the sky. You are different. You are unique. And but for whatever reason, you're looking at another star and saying, well, I want what they have. And listen, I get it. I used to do the same thing. I'm not sitting up here on a high horse and say, oh, God, no, please, come on. You don't think I'd like money flowing, left and right and traveling all over the world and speaking about this happiness shit?
That's awesome.
Are you kidding? I mean, listen, who are these other people? I can do the same thing, and I walk it. I know I walk it. Come on. But for now, I'm hooked to a little computer, online radio show, and who knows what's going to happen in the future. And I don't care. I'm not going to be in charge. Listen, when I'm inspired to do something and contact someone, I will. And I do. A couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I went to the Agape Church. And you know Michael Beckwith, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I chat a little chat with him. I said, hey, I'd like you to come on the show. So he gave me his email of his lady that books appearances, and I said, you know what else I want? I want to speak at Agape. I actually said that to him.
Why not?
Yeah. So what I'm saying
That's
is
great.
But what I'm saying is I was inspired. Listen, I'm 45 minutes away. I was inspired to do that, but I'm not like, it's a different feel. It's a different vibe. And I say, universe, just bring me closer to you. I listen to my inspiration. Is he going to come on the show? Who knows? Do I have anything invested in coming on the show? No, I don't. No attachments, no expectations. I'm just doing what I'm inspired to do, honey. That's it. And quite frankly, yeah. Yeah, you're way too critical. You're way too critical of self. You're way too critical. And there's no acceptance going on at all. I mean, of course, sometimes, but I mean, for the majority, no acceptance, dissatisfaction, blah, blah, blah. Stop it!
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. It's good to talk about it with somebody, that gets it.
Did I help at all?
It's good to talk to somebody that gets it. That's what the helping is.
Okay.
It's like, hey, I feel that too, and I still walk this path, and that's it. You have to keep the blinders on and just watch what you're doing. That's it. It's a practice. That's
right. It is a practice. It's a daily practice. That is it. It's like you want to play at Carnegie Hall. You want to play the cello at Carnegie Hall. Guess what? You're going to have to frickin' practice. No, it's my show. You're going to have to fucking practice. I love when I do that on air. Yeah, you're going to have to practice.
Yeah.
And pay attention to what voice you're listening to. And the universe has nothing. If you're talking about numbers, it's not universal, honey. It's just not. Trust me. I'm a lot older than you. I may look like I'm in my 30s, but I'm a little older. Yay!
Yeah. It's all good. I mean, it's like I said, I've been getting inspiration for new things and to how to focus, but that has definitely come up for me this week. So, yeah, it's good. Moving on and up.
All right, so moving. Okay, now you say up. There's an up, down means there's a down. You're just expanding. You're expanding.
Right.
Just expand and be okay with all the expansion and the voice. Put that ego on the stage and let it perform without you really looking at it as anything serious or important or to focus on. No, thank you, ego. You're not going to make me feel bad today. Too many things to do. Thank you. Bye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love you, Jessica. You're one of my favorite callers. I really do. You're so cool.
Thank you. I enjoy your show. So
okay,
I wish you had it more days. I like it. I like listening.
Yay. Well, listen, I can only do so much, honey. I can only do so much.
I know.
All right, sweetie. Have a great week.
All right. Bye-bye.
Oh, bye. I love all of my callers today. Everybody offered something new and something different and something unique and something of value. Everybody offers something of value. Can you compare? The animal kingdom doesn't compare. The animal, the bears don't look at other bears and say, "Hey, you got an extra berry today," or there's no compare. I'm telling you, this comparing is all man-made, and whatever I've learned, I just want to unlearn. And then what I do is I ask the universe, hey, universe, can you help me out with that comparing? How do I'm sure Jessica, I know you're listening. How do I compare less? How do I, end my comparison? How do I get to the point where numbers aren't important to me? I mean, I just ask the universe for help. Always ask with the how can I. I love those questions. And this is what I ask the universe all the time, too. I'm like, what else is possible, universe? What else is possible? Bring me closer. How can I get rid of my triggers? How can I be more connected? How can I not focus on how can I, know which voice is talking? All these questions. Just ask the universe for help, and guess what? You always get guidance. Woo, what a show today. I can't believe 90 minutes. Yikes. Boy, am I a yacker. Reality Spirituality is heard every Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go to my website at RebeccaNorrington.com. That's RebeccaNorrington.com. Go to my Facebook page, Reality Spirituality, and like Reality Spirituality Facebook. That's in order, everybody. You have to do that. And follow me on Twitter at RL Norrington. And until next week, I want you all to remember who you are. You are extensions of the universe. You're always growing. You're always evolving. Accept where you are. Be satisfied with where you are. Being satisfied does not mean that you don't do anything. Being satisfied does not mean that you're not inspired to action. You're inspired. You can feel when you feel your inspiration, you act. But this energy of satisfaction is huge, because if you're dissatisfied in this moment, trust me, you're going to be dissatisfied in all of your future moments. So asking the universe and wanting and having the intention of satisfaction and acceptance is huge when you want to be happy. Woo! Remember, Abraham says you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. Reality Spirituality, The Truth About Happiness is on Amazon. Until next week, everybody, have a great week. Tomorrow, happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Reality Spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one, man. Reality Spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Reality Spirituality. time to get some answers, baby. Oh, now we get real. Yeah, time to get down.